This is the story about a metal so ancient, so coveted, that kingdoms have risen and fallen in its shadow. A metal that has sparked voyages across uncharted oceans, toppled empires, and survived every war, every crisis, every financial revolution humanity has ever engineered. Gold. For centuries, kings hoarded it, paupers dreamt of it, nations measured their strength by it, and here we are in the 21st century, an age of cryptocurrencies, quantum computing, trillion-dollar tech stocks, and virtual real estates, and yet gold still sits on the throne. But the real twist, in the last 4 years, world's most powerful countries have quietly begun a rush towards gold, unlike anything we have seen in modern history. Welcome to globalheadwinds.com. Today we are diving into a phenomena that is silently reshaping the world economy, a phenomenon rooted in a metal as old as the civilization itself. Every nation has its wealth, its land, its mines, its people, but above all, countries rely on something called forex reserves or the foreign exchange reserves. Think of foreign exchange reserves as a nation's emergency toolkit. They include foreign currencies in cash, government securities, treasury bills, special drawing rights or SDRs created by the IMF, and of course gold. SDRs, for example, helped many nations access funds to buy COVID-19 vaccines during the pandemic. Government bonds allow nations to stabilize their currencies. Treasury bills provide liquidity. All of these depend on international monetary systems, a complex web of institutions, rules, and trust. Trust. That's the heart of the story. What happens when trust breaks? For decades, the global financial order created after the World War II felt unshakable. The US dollar was the world's anchor, sanctions were tools, but rarely existential threats. Then came 2022. Russia's invasion of Ukraine triggered one of the most severe economic sanctions in modern history. Western nations froze Russia's access to $250 billion worth of its foreign exchange reserves. Overnight, one of the world's largest economies was cut off from the monetary system it had relied on for decades. Imagine waking up and discovering your bank account, your life savings, is inaccessible. That's essentially what happened to a nation. This moment shocked the world. It was the day the globe witnessed what experts now called the weaponization of the dollar. And the countries took note. In the aftermath of the Russian sanctions, central banks began asking a frightening question. If it happened to Russia, could it happen to us? And then came the second question. Is there any asset that cannot be frozen, seized, or blocked? The answer was as old as time: gold. Unlike treasury bills, SDRs, dollars, or euros, gold doesn't belong to any financial institution. It doesn't depend on digital systems. It cannot be sanctioned. It exists outside any nation's control. From 2022 onwards, central banks from Asia to Middle East began quietly unloading their foreign exchange reserves and converting them into physical bullion. The numbers are staggering. According to the World Gold Council's 2025 survey, 73% of the world's central banks now believe that the gold reserves are more important than US dollar reserves. By the end of 2025, central banks are expected to purchase around 900 tons of gold, a record level. With mining production nearly flat and gold supply extremely limited, the price of the yellow metal saw a stupendous increase of 65% in 2025 alone. In October, gold briefly crossed the $4,000 per ounce mark. Analysts at Morgan Stanley predict it could approach $5,000 per ounce by the end of 2026. The world isn't just buying gold, it's preparing for a new financial order. The geopolitical landscape is shifting. China is looking to reduce its reliance on the US dollar. India is strengthening its rupee trade settlement systems. Russia, after being cut off from dollars, has no options but to go for gold. Middle Eastern economies, flush with energy revenues, are diversifying aggressively. De-dollarization isn't a theory anymore, it is a trend. Gold, the centerpiece of ancient empires, is now becoming the cornerstone of a new global strategy, a hedge against sanctions, currency volatility, geopolitical shocks, and an increasingly multipolar world. In a sense, humanity is returning to its oldest financial instinct. When the world gets uncertain, hold gold. As the central bank line their vaults with bullion and gold prices scale new heights, one thing becomes clear. The global economic order is slowly, quietly being rewritten. Here at Global Headwinds, we will keep following this shift, this strange fusion of ancient wealth and modern geopolitics, as the nations re-evaluate the power of the ultimate metal. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up button and please subscribe to the channel. The story of gold is far from over.